Martinair, currently responsible for KLM's cargo operations, was once a thriving charter airline. How did they end up here and what led them to drop their passenger operations? Let's talk aviation. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe and leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and makes it easier for others to find. Martinair was founded as Martinair Charter in 1958 by Martin Schröder. At first, the airline operated sightseeing flights in and around Amsterdam, up to 25 a day. For these flights, the airline used the DH-104 Dove. Not much later, the airline started international operations with a Douglas DC-3 to Palma de Mallorca. During the 5-hour flights, coffee was served from a thermos can and there were very few other amenities. The flight itself was an attraction on its own. Martinair Charter would soon become profitable and stayed in the black until the retirement of their founder, Martin Schröder, in the 90s. But going back in time a bit, in the 60s, the airline kept expanding and added the DC-4 and 7 to its fleet. Contrary to KLM, Martinair did not operate scheduled flights, but flew charter flights for other airlines and wet lease for large network carriers like KLM and Air France, but also outside of Europe for Singapore Airlines. A great example of the flights the airline operated are the so-called CAS flights. During the winter season, many tourists from the Netherlands go skiing in Austria and Switzerland. Unfortunately, quite a few get injured and Martinair operated the flights to repatriate them back to Holland. The airline kept expanding and jet planes were added to the fleet with the DC-8 and 9. Martinair was officially renamed and in the meantime acquired an operator certificate for North America. In the next decade, the airline underscored its focus on cargo operations by adding easily convertible DC-10s to its fleet. These planes could be transformed from a passenger to cargo configuration in a matter of days. Moving forward, as mentioned before, the airline was a success and in 1987 the Queen of the Skies became part of the airline. A second would follow soon, just as a few 757 and 767 widebodies. While the airline was still relatively small, certainly compared to the other Dutch airline KLM, it didn't stop them from acquiring a full freighter 747 in the 90s. Their aging DC-10s were replaced by newer MD-11s, again convertible freighters. In fact, if it weren't for Martinair, the MD-11 convertible freighter wouldn't have been developed. In the new millennium, the airline faced serious competition from larger airlines. With its small fleet, it was difficult to profit from the economies of scale on the passenger end. Their cargo operations were going strong, and in 2006, 4 new 747-400 freighters were added to the fleet. A year later, Martinair approached KLM to become the single shareholder. In the process, the airline first dropped its short-haul operations and later in 2011 the long-haul operations as well. After 53 years in operation, the airline flew its last passenger flight on October 31st, 2011, with their founder Martin Schröder on board. Right now, Martinair is part of Air France KLM Martinair Cargo. A great name, I must say. In the past 10 years, Air France KLM shifted their focus from dedicated freighters to belly freight on passenger planes. In the process, they retired all MD-11 freighters, and as of today, Martinair has only one 747 in its own colorway and operates 3 in the KLM cargo livery. Air France, the French part of the group, has only 2 777 freighters. However, recently they announced to have ordered 4 A350 freighters with options to make it 8. This is shockingly low compared to the number of passengers planes the group operates, which is well over 400. The future for Martinair is currently unknown. Air France certainly sees a future in dedicated cargo operations with the recent order. But Martinair, however, is solely linked to KLM's cargo operations, and with a fleet of aging 747s, the question arises whether KLM will keep its dedicated cargo division. Only time will tell. What are your thoughts about Martinair? Do they have a future under KLM's wing, or will they cease operations somewhere soon? Do you think there is a place for small cargo fleets at large network airlines in general? Let me know in the comments below. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you for watching and please consider subscribing to Let's Talk Aviation.